The character of this person, Tammy Hull, is distinct from many we've encountered in the past. However, she exhibits a common behavior of being easily triggered when trolls provoke her. Beyond her peculiar appearance, she has displayed the strangest behaviors online, also consistently expressing hatred toward the government, police, and anything related to the authority. Despite the limited information available in the public domain about Tammy, I'll bring you up to speed on everything you need to know about her. If you're excited about this and want to hear more about how she confronted the Jasper Police Department, went to war with her boyfriend, and her hatred toward her family, let's go through some of her videos to see what kind of person she is and how she interacts with her audience.
No. So we like to make a complete fact. Something this government needs to learn to do. Learn your facts. Tarts. Okay.
Let's start with some of the clips of her going after the police because she sees the police as an extension of the government.
This is to the Jasper County Sheriff's Department in Carthage, Missouri. I'm on my way, and you guys are in trouble, because that guy, Don Meyers, is a liar. And I'm going to prove it, because you know what? I don't like anybody making a joke of me. I don't. And I sure don't appreciate making me look crazy. Because I'm not. I am in some ways. Oh, I'm crazier than a loon. But in that, no, I'm not. And I'm very angry about it. And it's really pathetic that I've had to call, and I've called so many people. And I've got nothing done for nothing.
The background of how she was invited by the police by her ex-boyfriend named Don Meyers, who reported her, will be clarified later in the video. She didn't share much detail regarding it. She was on her way to the police station and decided to update her viewers on what was going on. She didn't mention what she was being invited for in the video, but she vowed to prove that Don was a liar. This is one of the videos that made her popular. What made the video most peculiar were the scary facial expressions she made during the video.
I'm pissed. I don't know if they'll let me post this or not, but I'm on my way. I'm on my way, Jasper County. I'm on my way. And you're not going to arrest me, okay? Because I ain't done nothing. I can talk all I want. I was given a voice for a reason. If God didn't want me to talk, he would have made me a deaf mute. Ain't that right? She's wanting in the picture.
Just look at that face. I'll tell you for free, it looks terrible. That face would scare all the kids in the neighborhood, and hope she doesn't walk around with that face, or at least wear a hood if she wants to keep that facial expression in public. And the emergence of her dog in the video only made it scarier.
My whole family think I was crazy and ignored me and bashed me and ignored me, tried to drive me crazy. You sexist. And no, I don't have to talk to you politely. You sexist. And Jasper County, I'm coming for you. Yeah. All legal like. Yeah, legal. Our government needs stopped.
She claimed that the police department made it look like she was crazy when they were giving her family a report of what she did wrong. I believe that her family already knew she was crazy, so she shouldn't have expected that the police would notice anything different. This wasn't the only time Tammy had called out Don Meyers. In the next clip, she was having a mental breakdown because of him. She claimed that she did something bad to someone by throwing a handful of baking soda at them and promised to do the same to Don.
I'm coming for you, Don Meyers, you fat f***er. You fat, parasite-ridden piece of shit. I know it's you. I know it's you. You sack of dog shit. You know the reason Harley died? Because I threw the handful of baking soda on him, don't you? Yeah. That's what I do. I'm going to do the same to you. I'm going to throw a handful of baking soda on you, you parasite-ridden mother. Throw a handful of baking soda on him. It'd probably would. Don Meyers would.
One thing though, Is a handful of baking soda dangerous enough to harm someone? Is that a code word for gunpowder or something else that could cause harm? If that's the case, then she's smart enough not to use the actual word or phrase, because she could be arrested and charged for threatening someone. In another video, we see her continue her rage and attacks on the government and the police. She truly detests them, most likely because society doesn't have a way of allowing people like her to do whatever they want without repercussions.
In this world, and the government part, f*** 'em. Fuck this government. I'd like to take my fist and shove it right down the throat of one of them. Yeah. I would like to take my fist and shove my throat right down the throat of one. I'm tired. And then jerk it out with my hand open. I'm tired.
Her anger is just too much. Anger consumes one and it destroys the person. She claimed that she would feel a lot better if she could lay her hands on one of the government officials. This seems to be her ultimate mission or desire on Earth. The way she speaks sometimes, you can't always fully understand what she's saying. Someone might say she speaks in a retarded form of parables. Here she claimed that she was tired. What is she tired of? What did the government do to her? How would beating up a government official make the situation any better? So many questions, but not many answers.
I'm tired of living like this. I don't want pampered. I don't want pooed. I don't want to be a princess. I just want a justice. And everybody wants to stay calm and stay, I'm about to blow the f*** up. Okay? I'm about to blow the f*** up while everybody sits back and says, wait! The world! I'm done, This justice system, it's gotta stop!
She claimed that she's tired of living like this. Living like how? Her present living condition is no one's fault but hers. I'm most likely right with my earlier assumption. She wants to live in a world where the police would not come for her if she broke the law. She wants a society without a government, where she can do as she pleases without being held accountable. She said this justice, it's got to stop. She feels that the law enforcement, and the justice system as a whole aren't as she wants them to be, and they have to be stopped. Maybe if she had some issues with the way things are currently, she could make suggestions. But a complete call to stop, it isn't a good solution, it's a lazy one.
Somebody needs to do something because you know what? You guys are going to regret what is going to... This is why I don't get on here. This is why I don't get on no more.
Look at how she suddenly switched characters. From being enraged about stopping the justice system to laughing out loud like a maniac. And then instantly starting to look like she's about to cry. That shows how quickly she can change her personality in the blink of an eye. Maybe that's because she's sick, or maybe it's her acting skills. We can't know for sure. But what we know is that she makes some wrong connections, like when she relates the government to trolls disturbing her on the internet.
TikTok, you shouldn't let people get on here and slander people's name like you do. I'm beginning to wonder if the government don't own you because you're acting like them.
We also have some other clips of how she has multiple personalities in one video, where she would exhibit one emotion now and an entirely different one a minute later.
There is no justice. There's no justice in this world. It's fake. They're liars. They're liars! They're liars! Our own justice system is a lie!
See how she immediately switched from crying to being enraged and screaming at the top of her voice? She's also seen here complaining about the justice system, claiming it's all a lie. Maybe it's a lie for her, but it's fair to others, or at least better than it is in many parts of the world.
Everything in it is a lie! They're liars! America is liars! I don't care. Turn your volume down. America is chock full of lying sexist that run our country into the ground. Go yourself. What's the common use in your situation? Go yourself. That's my common use, you mother.
We can see that some of her fans are commenting and trying to support her or calm her down, but she isn't ready to do that. She claimed that the leaders are running the country into the ground. On what grounds is that? Was she referring to education, security, healthcare, or housing? She never mentioned it.
I'm so hot right now. I don't even want my oysters. This is gonna stop. Somebody needs to step in! America! Sit back and watch somebody have a nervous breakdown over at Angriest Police Department! I can't take no more! I can't take no more! I've had it! I've had it! I've had it! Shut up, Karen! Jasper County Sheriff's Department in Carthage, Missouri is the lousiest, laziest, shittiest police department ever was!
So she was just ranting for the sake of it. It's just disgusting to look at her scream while she's eating something. Everything she's tried to fight for are things that are affecting her personally, and she calls people to support her. She's the only one having issues with Don and the Jasper Police Department, even claiming that the Jasper Police Department is the worst of them all, only because she had a bad personal experience with them. We'll discuss this in detail later in the video. She's the reason why she's almost homeless and living in her car, but everyone else, including the government, is at fault except her.
They need shut down. They need shut down! Don Meyers, you fat mother... God is coming for you all! You're dumb! All you had to do was tell the truth! All you had to do was tell the truth! Ah! God, I'm pissed! Shut up! Squatty! Squatchy! Fucking Jasper County! It's Jasper County Sheriff's Department! You're failures! You're...
She called for the shutdown of the police department. If they shut down, who will be in control of ensuring law and order around the area? She hasn't thought about this before making such a statement. Just look at how emotionally unstable she is and the way she's screaming like a maniac. Apart from the emotional instability and rapid emotional and personality changes during the livestream video, we've also seen her display truly weird behaviors on camera that are worrying.
Kiss my ass. That's how they act when I come around.
I mean, what's all that about? What's the point? Shaking her mouth continually for no reason and making weird sounds. It's just disgusting to look at, to be honest with you. And it serves no purpose, but maybe to entertain her weird followers. In the next video, we have a disturbing situation where Tammy explains how abusive she once was and how it wasn't anything to worry about. But if you ask me, she's in way over her head.
Let's clear the air on the story that's circulating around about that I bit my mother's nose. Yes, I did. Yeah.
Look at the smile on her face when she says, yes, I did, yeah. It's something that happened a while ago, but she seems proud of it and doesn't feel any remorse for her actions. And I'm sure if the situation called for it again, she would bite her mother once more.
She came up to my yard. I was drunk on old Charter. She bounced out of her truck and said, I heard you're gonna whip my ass. Well, I got her down on the ground and I went to punch her, and even drunk on old Charter, I couldn't punch her. So I bit her nose.
First, she claimed that she was drunk when this happened. This must have given her the extra courage to do what she had always wanted to do to her mother. She also said that even while drunk and filled with rage, she couldn't bring herself to punch her mother. The punch was probably the first thing that came to her mind. From her perspective, she thought biting her mother's nose would be mercy, so she went ahead and did it. Saying this probably brought back the memory. It was definitely memorable for Tammy because it was all over her face.
This has been years ago. What are they even talking about that for? She deserved it. She called the cops on me. I went to jail for 45 days. Okay, story ended. That's been years ago. But this is the shit they're dragging up. Are you kidding?
If it was such a memorable event, why is Tammy annoyed that people keep bringing it up? It should be expected. She also said that her mother deserved the treatment, not because of what her mother did before biting her, but because Tammy went to jail for 45 days. This shows the state of mind Tammy is in. This story will keep coming up as long as Tammy's online making content. As much as Tammy cherishes that event, she doesn't appreciate that it's been mentioned years after it happened.
Kidding me. Lord help me, Jesus. I don't care how they smear my name. Smear it away, family. You sickos.
Also, we can see how her demeanor shifted from a little cheerful in the beginning to suddenly less so. I believe she was looking at the comments section and wasn't pleased with what her viewers were saying in response to her message. She then decided to give the complete story of what happened, maybe hoping that would bring a little more clarity to those watching.
Smear it. Okay, the full story of me biting my mom's nose. I'm drunk on old charter. My son does something, and I told him, shut up. He said he's going to tell his grandma. I said, I'd whip you and your grandma's ass. I had no idea he was going to go down to her house. He really ran down to her house. She comes back up the hill, gets out of her truck, and said, I heard you're going to whip my ass. I'm drunk, whiskey drunk. I grabbed her by her bun and just shook her.
This lady is not well in the head at all. She claimed that she was going to hit her son and the grandmother. When the grandmother decided to confront her, that was when it all went down. I'm also sure the child was there when it happened. Imagine the trauma such a child would have to live with, seeing his mother pinning down, shaking and biting his grandmother's nose without remorse for her actions. She was even laughing at what she did about her mother.
I had sworn my whole life I would shake that bun. You can't hide behind a bun. An evil woman's an evil woman. I shook her by her bun and we wrestled around, and I instead of hitting her, I bit her nose. Okay. And I went to jail for 45 days.
Imagine Tammy calling her mother an evil woman. The victim is evil, while the person inflicting the pain is the one who's morally just. Well, that's based on Tammy's understanding. She claimed that she hit her and bit her nose, but didn't punch her. As she said earlier, that she couldn't bring herself to punch her mother. Repeating the story didn't make it any better.
So, and this was, Lord help, a long time ago. You know, we're talking 17 years ago. So why they're dragging up like that? And I can't imagine, because they always told me, they said, if I start acting like her, tell us. I told them, and they don't talk to me no more. Well, if you can't handle the truth, don't tell me to tell it to you. But I love them. I love my family, man. It's sad to see them talking about me like that. Had no idea.
She claimed that it happened about 17 years ago, and that people should let the story go, claiming she loves her family regardless of the problems they've gone through. But some love should be examined carefully. When you claim to love someone and are constantly abusive toward them, not just in the past but still in the present, one has to question such a commitment. However, if it was a one-time thing, it can be seen as a mistake that should never happen again. Being a schizophrenic person, Tammy's had run-ins with the law and ordinary people as well. In the next video, we see her rush into a building with her phone camera on, recording and repeatedly asking for someone while disrupting the peace there.
So I'm back at the MU extension. I'm gonna talk to them. I'm getting sick of this.
She said she was in a building. To do what exactly? It seems very urgent, and she mentioned that she's getting sick of it. Maybe there's something we don't know yet. Let's find out.
Hello? Is Vicky in here? You don't know? That's right.
But yeah.
Last name, so yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I'll go in and change all of ours.
Hi. Are you looking at gossip?
No.
Because I went all the way to Washington, D.C. I've been over there at the Sheriff's Department. And what I found out there is crazy. Somebody needs to check into it, and they need to check into it today. All this rain, all of this rain.
I've given you
Ma'am, let me
all
tell
the
you something.
names. I know,
all
but
this
I've given
rain.
you all the names that I could.
Can I get that lady's name again, or number again? The lady with over the plants, over the area. That's over the grass.
The agronomy?
Mm-hmm. This is going to end up killing so many people if we don't.
There she is, rushing into a building looking for heaven knows what. She claimed that she was looking for Vicky, but the person she asked didn't know who Vicky was. Later, it seemed she wasn't in just any random place. She claimed that she needed to contact a lady in charge of agronomy in the area. She wanted to put out a warning that she could be in danger to many people, and in this case, lives might be in danger due to the frequent rain. I assume that Tammy stopped taking her medication because this behavior isn't normal for a sane person. The attendant there didn't panic, even with the impatience that Tammy showed. Even though what Tammy was saying didn't make much sense, the attendant tried to remain professional with her.
Do something, ma'am.
And I've given you everything that
Have you looked it up?
given you, and I don't.
Every other state's picking it up. Every other state, and it's coming from Missouri. You guys are going to be a problem.
What did they tell you at the police department?
They're idiots.
Tammy was coming back from the police station with this schizophrenic story about lives being in danger. The police most likely didn't take her seriously and decided to send her on her way. More on this later. Out of frustration, she came here to lodge a complaint. The lady responding to her assumed something was wrong when Tammy mentioned she was coming from the station. If something was going to happen that could endanger people's lives, the police would have been the better option to help Tammy avert the crisis. But with Tammy in front of her breathing heavily and in some sort of mental panic, the attendant must have guessed that she wasn't okay, especially after Tammy called the police idiots. With the look on Tammy's face, she believed what she was saying had some substance.
They're pure idiots. And the mayor, I went to the town meetings. The governor, I've been trying to call him, and without the sheriff's saying something, I can't do nothing. But it's right by the Circle E, and it's so bad.
And
You guys are awful.
Just imagine. Tammy is trying to contact the governor for what? Just because she had a hunch that something bad was going to happen? The attendant was silent at this point, probably looking for a way to get Tammy out. Tammy noticed that she wasn't being taken seriously and turned to leave immediately, claiming that they were all awful. The problem was that she was all over the place. She couldn't bring her thoughts together. She was talking about the plants having a problem, the rain, her contact with the mayor, and town meetings. She was just all over the place. Nothing she was saying made any sense. But how did we get here? How did Tammy get to a point where she hates the Jasper Police Department this much? And what connection does her ex-boyfriend have with this whole mess? This is getting more and more confusing, I'm sure. But for more context, I'll give you some background and details to fill in the gaps, including her claim about calling the mayor and attending a town hall meeting. Tammy's feelings toward Jasper County were far from positive, and it didn't take long for her to make that clear. Despite her obvious disdain for the place, she ended up there, drawn by the small but growing social media following that she had started to build. The more attention she got, the more she seemed to want to film and share her every move. Now, I can't speak for everyone, but what happened next genuinely caught me off guard. Instead of going to the Jasper County Police Department to file that big report against Don, like she said she would, she did something completely unexpected. She marched right in, but instead of seeking justice, she decided to verbally lash out at a police officer. And of course, she filmed the entire thing. Honestly, it was hard to watch. She was looking for a fight, not a resolution, and she seemed more interested in creating content than addressing the issue at hand. It's annoying how someone who claims to want to change ends up using this situation to stir the pot even more. Tammy clearly wasn't after justice. She was after drama. And unfortunately, she seemed to be giving her followers exactly what they wanted.
know what the court thing was over me. Why Don Meyers had defended me in court. What's this about? Because I never knew anything about a court date. He had my mail for the last 3 years. You guys are doing something crooked, and it's going to come to a boiling stop. You know that, don't you?
Okay.
Yin's never checked into the food stamps. Yin's never done anything. Did you?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
While there, she started ranting to the first officer she saw about how Don, her ex-boyfriend, did this or did that, and why the police allowed him to do those things. This officer attending to her was calm and claimed that he had no idea what she was talking about. This led to an outburst from Tammy.
The food stamps Don Meyers stole from me that I've been coming up here about. You're a liar, and these guys know that.
Okay,
I'm on YouTube. I'm going to leave.
You can leave.
But you are going to do jail time for what you've done. You know that, don't you? You're doing jail time, big boy.
Have a good day.
You have bullied me for 3 years while I begged you to listen to me over this grass. Tell him to be quiet a minute. Let me say something, please. I've been bullied all this time. They've done stuff online to me and stuff. They've went to court over me and had all this to say about me behind my back.
Okay.
I have something to say to you.
Okay, well,
You're a failure.
I say to you.
That's all. Good day, big boy.
Yep.
Don't come near me.
I'm making sure.
Back up.
Go.
Shut up. They know, don't they? Don't know what I'm talking about? They don't know what I'm talking about? You guys, you see? They get a grit in their teeth. They cannot stand me. Ow!
She was honestly just embarrassing herself at that point. The police officers weren't strangers to her unpredictable behavior. This wasn't the first time she'd been there, and based on her actions, it definitely wouldn't be the last. She accused them of lying and doing nothing when she first reported that Don had stolen her food stamps. Now, she claimed they were in cahoots with her, working together to plot something against her in court without her knowledge. It was all just a jumble of accusations and frustration, but instead of seeking real help, it felt like she was venting to the wrong people in the wrong way. Another thing Tammy's known for online is begging for money. Some people even say that she is one of the biggest and most shameless beggars on the internet. She offers various excuses, and there's no limit to how she goes about it.
Not. I have weak moments, okay? I still ain't got any. And I could easily done found one, okay? I don't care if I look like Navajo Joe. I could get a cigarette. I don't give a what you think. Come on, you guys, $76, please. I don't even know if they're that much.
There she is, shamelessly begging for money for a cigarette. It's worked for her in the past, where she was able to get financial help from her viewers. But it's not a good look for her. People come online to beg for help when they're in a serious medical condition or a threatening situation. But in her case, it's just another way to get money for her obsessive buying.
I'll get a burger. No, I won't get cigarettes. I'll get a Big Mac or something. I'll order another Whopper at McDonald's. Come on, because I'm hungry. That's what, all of it combined is like, God, I'm losing my mind. I'm trying to do a good deed here, whether people want to believe me in it or not. And, yeah, please, help me out. Feed the people.
Feed the people, she said. But it's all for herself. She comes online occasionally like this to beg for money. And some of her viewers who love her humor or madness send her something, while others make fun of her. But how did she start begging? While Tammy was still in a relationship with her boyfriend Don, she started talking about these parasites that claimed she could see under her skin, both on herself and on Don. She was convinced these parasites were destroying their bodies, and she wasn't just sitting back waiting for them to disappear. No, she tried all sorts of homemade remedies, trying anything she thought might work. Her obsession led her to search for the source of these parasites, and she settled on the wild idea that the grass outside Don's house was somehow the culprit. She'd collect the grass and try to get real scientists to analyze it. Meanwhile, she filmed everything, like the plants and animals around Don's place, and claimed that they all had something to do with the problem. It was honestly hard to keep track of her theories. They just kept escalating. Eventually, even Don has enough of the chaos. He kicked Tammy out, and she found herself homeless, living in her car with her dog Heidi. So while Tammy was a bit frustrated about her homelessness, she began asking for money and supplies from her followers. She even got a small group of people to help her out, either by sending cash or buying random items from Walmart that she requested. It was while in her car she started her hunt against the government.
Pieces of shit, what our government is. Dumb lying sacks of shit. The police is corrupt as fuck. They loosen people's lug nuts and no one does nothing about it. I don't get a phone call even. I got no respect. Then it's all, oh, Trump and his wife. Oh, look, listen to the little boy's accent. Yeah, our world is dying. Our world is dying, Trump. Hey, Trump. Your little boy's got a cute accent. But enough said. Our world is dying.
What world is dying? Tammy is so dramatic when it comes to these issues. But here's where things got interesting. While Tammy was living in her car and begging for money, she wasn't exactly using the money for what she claimed. She claimed the funds were for hotel rooms, but more often than not, she'd pocket the cash and sleep in her truck. This behavior quickly earned her a reputation as a scammer among her followers. One guy was a frequent donor, always helping her out with money for those hotel rooms. But after giving her money for the last time, he learned Tammy wasn't using it as promised. She took a small portion to get a spot at a campground, and the rest? Well, she spent it on whatever substance was her latest interest. It was honestly heartbreaking how she used people's generosity for her own purposes, leaving many of her followers feeling tricked and disappointed. Tammy doesn't seem to care about the support she's getting from others. She's just using it as a way to fund her chaotic lifestyle. Now, with her reputation in the mud, she gained a lot of trolls. Trolls have always been a pain in the ass for Tammy, and all they do is make her experiences online more miserable. We can see this in the next clip.
Oh man, I got a bad headache. Like a bad headache. It's like, man. I can't hardly handle it. F***. Don't even. Don't. Stop. Stop. Stop with your diva. You know, why don't you stop with your diva? Yeah, I'll stop it for you. Jealous. You know, the people saying diva and you're jealous is all you are, and it's tart and nasty. Oh man, my head. I think it's funny because I don't think that lady was even getting me a room. I think it was a way to try to get me to drive somewhere, which I would have called to make sure before I took off. So I would play their game.
She would often use headaches, body pain, and distress as a way to gain sympathy from her followers, hoping they'd spend money on her to make her feel better. It turns out someone promised to book her a room at the hotel. Initially, she was skeptical about the opportunity, but she came to like the idea and fell for it. But luckily for Tammy, she was able to call the hotel to confirm the reservation before going there. This saved Tammy from the stress and frustration of going to the hotel. She shouldn't have expected anything better from such trolls online.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. You got it? I don't want to go because I don't like being harassed. Just a second. Just a second. What? Just be careful when you go in there.
It seems like she's falling for it again. The person who booked the room for her claimed that they booked it in their name, not Tammy's. Immediately, Tammy went from saying, "You want to deceive me by sending me to a hotel that isn't paid for," to, "Yeah, you booked it for me, but you shouldn't have booked it in your name. It should have been in mine." She's truly looking forward to the experience at the hotel.
Thank you. All right, let me call him real quick.
When the troll in the comments told her that she could proceed to enjoy herself at the hotel and that all the confusion had been sorted out, we could see the light on Tammy's face with her saying, "Thank you," and "Let me call them up." Unfortunately, after calling the hotel again, it turned out that the troll was still lying. Tammy was visibly hurt by this. She had been played the first time and was played again. She was in her car, probably in her neighborhood, ready to go to the hotel and have a fun time, only to be deceived multiple times by this person in her comments.
I feel bad I didn't believe you. I mean, this shit with Devin just really has me thrown off. Because I know they know a lot of people. You know, I don't get it. But most people that know me, that knew him, knows I'm not a bad person. And I don't understand why they're smearing my name so bad.
She's glad she's in her car and hasn't left her home yet. But it still hurts that her anticipation of enjoying herself at the hotel was all a ruse. She says that people know her not to be a bad person and wonders why people treat her that way. This is exactly what the trolls want, an emotional reaction. They live on it. They thrive on it as if it's what they survive on. Trolls don't care if you're a good or bad person. They just want to make fun of you, deceive you, and see you broken emotionally in the process. But all of a sudden, Tammy switches to talking about something else entirely that has not much to do with the hotel's deception.
It's evil. It's evil. It makes me so mad at him. I mean, because he's the one that dragged my family into it. They're sick. Or they may have been the ones that drug him into it. I don't even know now. You know, if my family's been doing this all along, you know what I mean? It blows my mind. But I know some of the things they've done, and they are in some severe trouble. Yeah, severe trouble. Disgusting people. It makes me mad. My head's pounding.
Tammy's dog feels her sorrow, and we can hear the dog making some sympathetic sounds, probably trying to console Tammy in its own way. It's unfortunate and sad, but for someone who's mentally unstable like Tammy, it's always hard to follow along when she speaks. I mean, what's she on about? Why Don now? And what does this have to do with her family? It's just so confusing.
And Sabrina, you was right. You was right. That lady's a lying about the room. She just made a reservation. That's all she done was make the reservation. She thinks she's a sneaky snido. She's not. You can't with me. I'm smarter than your average bear. I'm smarter than your average bear, yo. Yes, you are. You're a till you got somebody a room and you're lying through your fat face teeth. You jealous, so. If I'd have drove over there, I'd have been madder.
So what Tammy later discovered about the troll is that the troll truly contacted the hotel, but she only made a reservation. And when reservations are made, most of the time they're not paid for. If Tammy were to go down there, she would be given the room but would be required to make a payment. Tammy wasn't looking to do that. She was looking for free stuff. Then she went on a rant, cursing and abusing the troll for trying to play with her. I'm sure the troll was having a blast as Tammy became emotional about it. That's the whole point, to piss Tammy off to this point.
I called them and asked if it was the thing was paid for. If it was just a reservation or if it was paid for. She said it wasn't paid for. So they said it wasn't paid for. It was just a reservation. So she didn't pay $129. She's a lying ass bitch. Nasty 59 years old, still being a nasty tardo. So Sabrina was right. She had a gut feeling, and Sabrina was right. So Sabrina apologized to this. Didn't owe her an apology, because Sabrina's gut was right. She was a bitch. A bitch. Something told me to call. I got God whispering in my ear all the time, you know.
Tammy isn't happy about it at all. It seems Sabrina was one of Tammy's followers who warned her about the other person being a troll, but Tammy didn't listen. Sabrina had to apologize when she thought the troll had truly paid for the room. Tammy claimed that she had a feeling she needed to call to confirm if the room was truly paid for, and concluded that she hears heaven speak to her sometimes. This is a common experience for people with schizophrenia. They tend to hear a lot of voices in their heads. Sometimes it helps, and other times it puts them in trouble. One of the reasons why she gets trolled so much is because of how hateful and aggressive she can be at times. Here's a sneak peek into what she's capable of.
My son had a wreck. I don't know. I ain't got to talk to him. I don't know. Now, if everybody would just pray for me, because I'm very mad right now. I'm very mad. Okay, I'm very mad. Me and my family and me don't deserve this.
She started by announcing that her son had a wreck, which means that he was involved in a car accident and in the hospital. She didn't seem very concerned about it, unlike many mothers would. She was just saying it casually. She was asked if he was all right, most likely because of how she was speaking about it, and she said she hadn't spoken to her son, who might be in a serious medical condition. All she should say is that she's mad, not because her son is in the hospital, but because of something else.
We don't deserve this, you know. I should be able to go check on my son, but instead I'm trying to tell the world about dangerous. And instead of listening to me, they're listening to some numbnut mother that's making the up, that is dying from it. And I can't wait for his dumb ass to explode. I cannot wait for him to explode. He deserves it.
She's mad because of some kind of responsibility she thinks she and her family have to the world, which she believes is more important than being there for her son when he isn't doing well. She kept talking about the dangers in the world that she was supposed to warn people about. Whatever warning she has for the world, real or fantasy, isn't an excuse for not being there for her son when he needs her the most. I think she's trying to run away from her responsibility of being there. Maybe she knows that if she's there, the burden of paying some part of the medical bill will fall on her. Who knows? She then went on a tangent about Don dying. This is about the parasite she claimed is growing in the grass of his yard and is now living inside of Don. She claimed that people only listen to others and not her, and it makes her mad. She said she can't wait for Don to explode from the parasitic infection.
Yeah, I do too. But I know these motherfuckers and their witchcraft is gonna stop. Don, they're gonna find him blown up in his field because he's gonna blow up from what's in his gut. He should have went to the doctor. He should go to the doctor, because any tree that these things are in, they blow the tree apart. So I'm saying if it's inside a human, it's going to blow the human apart just like it did a tree, right?
Then we have her talking about some people, unknown to us, using witchcraft, and how Don is going to blow up from the parasite in his gut. How did we get to a point where we're talking about witchcraft after she was trying to warn about the world dangers to come? One of the most consistent villains in all of Tammy's videos, apart from the government and the police, is Don. She continues talking about the plants, the same plants she's always obsessed with in previous clips. Here she claimed that when these plants are injected, people will blow up, because there are things that enter these trees that will make them explode.
That's what happens. So that's what's gonna happen to Don and all his little bullshit that he's doing. I should have done been heard. I should be able to go check on my son. Instead, I'm too fucking far away and I'm a pissed off motherfucker about it. So you FBI agents, you got police officers, you! Sick of them. Sick to death of it.
After ranting about Don, she went back to talking about her son, saying that she should be able to check on him. No one is stopping her from doing this but herself. She can always go see him whenever she's ready. Now, it's not about the plants or Don's fault that she's unable to go see her son. She's also cursing out the FBI, the police, and the government. She is sick in the head.
I've had it. These deadbeat motherfuckers. And then they all say, oh, why did Kamala and Obama or Biden have to run back to the White House at midnight? Lock these mother... God's gonna come and lock them up. God, they're all running rampant. They're all
crazy right now because they know they've done so much.
They know it. They know it. Shut the up, you flake. Get the off my life, you flake. You flake. You second.
What? What does Biden, Kamala, or Obama running into the White House at midnight have to do with what she's talking about? So should the former and current presidents be locked up? She's all over the place, saying things that don't add up at all. She even claimed that they're all crazy, but she's the crazy one here. Previously, we saw her say that she isn't a bad person and wonders why people are always making fun of her or trolling her online. Just look at how aggressive she is toward the commenters and how she's constantly cursing at them when they say something she doesn't approve of. It's no surprise she's been treated badly by the same people.
God's coming. Oh, I know. Come on, nighttime. I'm ready to go back to sleep. I'm ready to go back to sleep. Yeah. My are pissing me off. Bad. I know my son needs his mama.
From the background behind the car's rear glass, we can see that it's still daytime. She said, "Come on, nighttime. I'm ready to go back to sleep." Is she waiting for nighttime literally so she can sleep? Or is she talking figuratively, referring to the darkness that comes with death? I don't know for sure. Maybe she's tired of everything and ready to see the other side. Most local characters are defensive of their families or angry when trolls make fun of them. But the case is different with Tammy. She's the one always hating on her family, constantly blaming them for the problems she's having, claiming that they're jealous of her. I mean, why would anyone be jealous of Tammy, who's known to be mentally unstable and saying a lot of nonsense online?
He's mad. Yeah, I tell you what. They're flakes. When they don't care about other humans, there's something wrong with you. There's something mentally wrong. But Devin and them can keep up trying their keep stirring up your Devin. Keep on, Devin, you little jealous. You know, jealousy makes you look ugly. You look like a Captain Kangaroo in that video. You look just like Captain Kangaroo.
Devin is one of her family members, I presume, but the type of relationship, I'm not sure. She claimed that Devin and some family members are jealous of her. Devin made a video that she wasn't happy about, and she decided to respond to it in her own way. Tammy said, "Jealousy makes you look ugly." At least now we all know why Tammy looks this terrible.
You too. Sabrina, you're so funny. She's ruthless. She's ruthless, but not toothless. You got a mind like me, man. You do. Yeah, something big's gonna happen to Jasper. God's coming for him. And all that lying and all that devil worshiping bush. God's coming for him. So, Devin, you keep running to the sheriff's. Run wherever you want to, little girl. But you're not going to get away with it. It's called harassment, little girl. You jealous little That's what's wrong with her. They're jealous, and it's stupid. You know, they've always been, and I was too stupid to see it. They've treated me like this my whole life.
Jasper is another family member she doesn't like. She claimed that the heavens are coming for him and that he'll be punished for his wrongs. She accused Jasper of devil worshipping and lying. If Devin runs to the sheriff about something that Tammy did, then she most likely has done something wrong. This isn't about good or evil, it's about law and order. If Tammy assaults someone or does something wrong, Devin has every right to report her to the sheriff and get her arrested. And how is she calling the police harassment? It'll only seem like the police are harassing you if you always break the law and are arrested multiple times. She also said that it's the jealousy her family has for her. That's why they've treated her badly her whole life. She's always externalizing the problem. She should look inward and see if there's something she does that makes all of them not like her. It's called personal accountability or responsibility. If she doesn't own up to her faults, she will always have issues with people, not just her family.
But I was too stupid to see it because I loved them. I love them. They're my family. They didn't love me. They done stuff behind my back and thought it was funny. Well, it's not funny no more, and I'm over it. Your shit stops now. They've got no more control over me. You're weird. They're just weird. They're just weird. Very weird.
She claimed she loved her family and thought they loved her, but she said they did a lot of funny stuff behind her back. If Tammy truly loved them as she claims, I don't think she'd be online bashing and cursing at them consistently. That's not love, it's hatred. She also has a victim mentality, this me mentality, where everyone is wrong and she's right. She said she's over it, but she isn't because she's here ranting about it.
It's my dad, what the was going on. I asked him in a text. I didn't get a reply. I want to know how my son is, and he's not at the hospital they said he was at, so I don't know what to do.
She even had issues with her dad, too. Her mother, as we already know, isn't her best person either, especially after she almost bit her nose off. If everyone hates you, including your parents, then you're doing something wrong and you are not a good person as you claim. Personal introspection would be necessary at this point. Here we learn that she later decided to go see her son after warning the world about the plants that would destroy them. But to her regret, she didn't find her son there. Maybe they were worried that she would come into the hospital with a lot of crazy attitude. Or they thought she might try to go live and share her son's health status on the internet. No one knows why they didn't want her to know where her son was located. But one thing is possible. Maybe her family found out she was on live video ranting about her son being in the accident, and they quickly changed the hospital he was in so she wouldn't find him there even if she decided to come.
I'm pissed. My kids has been through a lot. Now I know that they're doing this satanic bush spells and that. Joanne, God is coming for you, you sawed-off lady. God is coming for you.
Now she's trying to paint them as bad, saying that they're all involved in some satanic bullshit. But I thought everyone had a right to their religion. Even if that's what they believe, it shouldn't be something used to bring them down. But with Tammy painting her family as satanic, one might assume that she's on God's side. But when she was asked how she was going to celebrate Christmas, her response about Jesus, Christmas, and Christianity was truly unbelievable.
So funny. I mean, that's stupid. That's stupid. Ludicrous. Ludicrous. To smear somebody's name like this over just jealousy is ugly. Makes themselves look bad. You know, that's what my daughter said. It just makes her look bad. Well, it embarrasses me for them. It embarrasses me to death for them. I don't do Christmas. I don't believe in Christmas. They're liars. Christmas ain't nothing to do with the Lord's birthday.
She was asked about Christmas and said that she doesn't need or believe in Christmas. Unlike most Christians in the world, she wants absolutely nothing to do with the celebration. She claimed that it had nothing to do with Jesus' birthday. Yeah, well, technically, historically, maybe Jesus wasn't born exactly on the 25th, it's now an accepted tradition among Christians all over the world. Just because she doesn't agree with the timing of this celebration doesn't make the celebration bad or wrong. It's just a time for people to be happy and connect with family and friends. It's a time for gifts, songs, memories, and love.
The Lord's birthday is not even in December, okay? The Lord's birthday ain't even in December. So how could that be Christmas? How could that be the birth of the Christ? See, they don't even match their up to even make it accurate. See, at least do your dates right, freaks. They're freaks. They're nothing but grass in the wind. God's gonna just, all of them. They're gonna find people around these false idols and all this bush. Yeah, there are. There are. Then they'll know. Yeah. See, it's just like the things in the sky. Let's just let them show them. Remember? The heavens rule. The heavens rule. Not these slithering snakes.
She claimed that those who celebrate Christmas or those who made Christmas beyond the 25th are freaks because it really isn't the date of Jesus' birth. She didn't need to resort to insults to make her point. She didn't have to call people freaks for wanting to celebrate Christmas. But what can one do when it comes to Tammy? She has her own way of communicating. She also has this thing about using God to threaten people if they don't agree with her ideas of faith. She insinuated that God would do something to them because of their ignorance in celebrating Christmas. While Tammy was trying to bring the world attention to the parasite and plant that she called Hemlock, she made a lot of noise on the internet and off-internet. A lot of Tammy's anger seems to be aimed at the government, both local and national. She feels like no one is taking her seriously, especially when it comes to the theft of her EBT card by Don and her strange belief in a countrywide parasitic infestation. Eventually, Tammy decided to bypass the local authorities altogether and take her concerns straight to the governor. She even went to her local library to gather all the information she had, loading it onto a flash drive, convinced that this was the way to get the truth out there. While at the library, Tammy stumbled upon a book about dangerous plants, and just like that, the narrative shifted. After reading about poisonous plants, she was convinced that the real problem wasn't parasites at all. It was this so-called poisonous hemlock that was growing everywhere. In her mind, this toxic plant was the cause of everything from dead moss to dying trees. Now, I'm not sure if she ever actually sent that flash drive to the governor, but I can confirm that she returned to the same police station she'd been to before. But while there, her complaint was more of wanting her food stamps and not about the parasites she called hemlocks.
I want to talk to another officer besides you, please. I need to talk to somebody besides you, please. Another officer, please. Oh, it's to both of them.
It's to both of you.
You guys, it's both of
Can
them.
you please let us get you some help? We can't...
No, I want my food stamps. I want my food stamps that he stole, and I want you to go look at that filthy hemlock that's out there. Before you tell me I need help again.
No.
Buddy, you need help.
Some help, but we can't keep...
You're needing help. You're going to get help. You're going to lose your jobs. You dumb mother... Did you hear them, you guys? You guys all see it. This is going viral, mother...
Good.
The police seemed to be a lot more clued into what was going on with Tammy. It was as though they were starting to recognize the pattern, her need to latch onto any new theory to explain the issues she was facing, even if that theory was based on little more than her own interpretations. With that, Tammy left and decided to spread the word even further by joining the town hall meeting to express her fury about why she was being neglected by everyone she was warning, hoping they would listen to her.
And I'm currently living wherever I park my truck. But anyways, I came to this town and I met a guy and I went through a living hell. I'd like to talk to somebody outside of this room about what all I've been through, because I don't want to go into detail and bore everybody with it. But before I left, because I went all the way to Washington, D.C. to try to be heard, I went to George Washington Carver State Park. You guys all will know that. Thousands of kids go out there. It is so poisoned and thickened by hemlock and water hemlock, the eastern hemlock. Somebody needs to wake the hell up and pay attention, go out there and look at it, because it's bad. I'm sorry, I get so emotional thinking about it, because it's been 3 years I've been dealing with this, and I went through a living hell.
She started by introducing herself and making it clear that she still lived in her truck. She gave some background on the issue she was addressing, explaining how the plants could affect people and even suggesting that it wasn't safe for kids playing around. This shows that Tammy truly believes what she's saying. It's not just an act. There seems to be a real obsessive belief in her mind, almost like a form of schizophrenia, where she's convinced this'll happen.
It's the pink in the sky. I said that the last time. I mean, I would like the respect of somebody, because I expected a call. The last time I came to the meeting and told you about this grass. I can take you out to it, and it's a patch over by the Circle E. The house next to the Circle E, it's got a field so infested. And I've been to 15 doctors, a dermatologist, and I've been mocked so much my legs are shaking. And I don't want another person to go through this. I believe in, if you see something, I believe in telling people and making awareness. And it's ignorance to ignore it when you hear it. Because anybody in here can Google, my leg is going 900 to nothing shaking. Lord. But you can Google it, and it causes distortion of the body. It causes mad.
She claimed that it's the pink in the sky that's responsible for the hemlock parasites. What the hell is the pink in the sky? If you know what she's talking about, please let me know in the comments. The field she's referring to is the front yard of her ex-boyfriend Don's place, where she insists is ground zero for this parasite. One time she went there to collect samples, but Don saw her and told her to leave. This led to an argument between them, and the police showed up and took Tammy away. She was then placed on a 72-hour psychiatric hold. She had attended a previous town hall meeting and was expecting a call about her concerns. But when she didn't get one, she decided to come back and remind them of how serious the situation was. After all, she believed she'd done her part by reaching out to specialists and scientists. She even gave them a list of symptoms related to Hemlock, hoping they would do more research on it. After she was released from the 72-hour psychiatric hold, she came out to react to the incident on her page.
Lying through their teeth, and when they hit me this morning, it made me so mad I cannot stand it. So they hadn't even tested nothing. They hadn't even done anything. I want the proof. I want proof. I want proof, Jasper County. You flops. Failures.
She's claiming that it was wrong for them to hold her for the psychiatric evaluation because they hadn't even checked the plant samples she had collected for the Hemlock parasite she's been talking about. Over the years, she's been many things, but one thing I'm sure of is this. I don't think she's acting to be seen as crazy. Everything she said, she genuinely believes to be true. It's likely that her mental challenges have gotten worse, especially after her ex-boyfriend threw her out of his house. She probably wasn't able to get or take her medication as regularly as she should, which may have led to her complete breakdown. What do you think about this lady? Let us know in the comments.